Hello web page students, welcome back to tutorial number 2, another continuation of our workspace in Dreamweaver and also talking about starting your first website. A couple of things that I want to point your attention to is remember our panels tab over here, and you can see I have insert, CSS, AP elements, assets, but I don't have files, and I'm going to need files. So I want to go to window and I want to find my files workspace, and it automatically brought that out over here, and then I can minimize that tab. The other thing about the panels bar is you can go ahead and move things. I drag it out and I want to put it at the bottom, so when I click on those files tabs, it's over here and it's the first one that I click on in the bottom instead of going all the way through the other tabs. And I don't like how far it's set out, so I'm going to move it in, and then you can even drag over like this to make it a little thinner. So I'm going to close that and minimize that tab for right now, and we're going to move on. We're going to actually start by creating our first website. And I'm going to minimize Dreamweaver. I'm going to go to my desktop, but I want you guys to go to the Y drive, and then I'm going to go to the new tab and create a new folder. And this new folder is going to be called Shears Design. So here's Shears Design, and you can open it up and you can see that we have an empty folder. Then we're going to go back over here into Dreamweaver, and we're going to actually create a Dreamweaver site. So an unnamed site is called Shears Design is what we want to name it, but we've got to come up with our local site folder, and that is important. We actually already created that. If you look back to my desktop over here, if I have to select the folder first, so I'm going to go to desktop, and I'm going to go to the Shears Design, and I'm going to hit select, and I'm going to hit save. And you can see that it has saved my site over there, and I'm going to actually bring this over a little closer. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some documents into this site because we're going to start setting up our website. But before we add those documents, I need to tell you about 3 simple rules in web design that you have to pay attention to. First, when you are designing and you are saving files, you always want to not use capital letters. You never want to start a file with a number, as well as only using the dash and underscore or symbols. So for your worksheet, your tutorial worksheet, to repeat those 3 rules again is never use a capital letter, never start a file with a number, and only use underscore and dashes as symbols in your file names. So I'm going to right click over here, and I'm going to get new file, and I'm going to call this our home page, which is our index page. Remember back to when we used designed in HTML that you only ever call your home page index, and the only other acceptable name is welcome. Anything else isn't acceptable in the web design world, so you never want to call it home or anything like that. So I would prefer that you would stick to index because that's more universally accepted by web designers. And then we're going to also go ahead and we're going to create a couple of other new files. So we're going to create an about new file, a contact new file, and another new file called services. So we created 3 new files, and then we're going to come up here on the Shears website design because we don't want to create a folder within any of these files. So we're going to right click and we're going to create a new folder, and our first folder we're going to need is called images. You can name it IMG or images. You just have to be consistent, and remember with whatever you are coding to use this folder's file name. Then I'm going to click back up here, and I'm going to go ahead and create another new folder, and I'm going to call it JS, which is my abbreviation for JavaScript. Now say if I clicked on this folder and I created a new folder within it, see it would create a new folder within there. And maybe I don't want this untitled folder. If this happens to you, you're going to right click you're going to edit, and you're going to hit delete. And it says, yes, do you really want to delete the selected files? Yes, you do. So there are a bunch of files in our website now. We have 4 HTML pages and 2 folders. I'm going to minimize that, and I'm going to go back to my root, my local directory folder on my computer, and I'm going to just click on it and open it up, and there are my 2 folders and my 4 files within that particular folder. And I'm going to double click on the contact page, and I'm going to actually that opened it up in Notepad++, so I'm going to go back into Dreamweaver since my computer isn't defaulted to that, and I'm going to click on files, and I'm going to open the about page. And the about page shows me this nice blank page. I'm going to minimize my files, and you can see that I am in design view, and I'm going to write something that says, hello, my name is Nicole Sittler, period. Okay, so simple sentence. But then I'm going to go over here to code view, and look what Dreamweaver has done. It's already identified my doc type plus everything else I needed to make this an official website and you can see HTML. This is the World Wide Web Consortium, 1999 XML, and look, it has that charset UTF tag in there. You know, I would change, you know, my from untitled document, I would change it to about, because that's what I want my web browser to show. And then it ends my head, and it starts in my body tag, and it says, hello, my name is Nicole Sittler, which is exactly what I typed. So I want to change that, and I actually want to make that a heading. So I'm going to, you know, I'm going to shift, and I'm going to start my code, and oh, look, it automatically goes to heading 1, and I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to try and end my tag, and then hit enter again, and it ends my heading 1, and then so hello Nicole Sittler. Oh, this tag isn't quite right. I didn't get the end of it, but it looks pretty good. Let's go back over to design view, and you can see that now my name is in a heading 1 setup. But this is my favorite part of Dreamweaver, which is the split view, that you can go ahead and you can look at both the code and you know, and the actual design of your web page. And if I highlight hello, my name is Nicole Sittler, it highlights it over here, so you can actually see where your mistakes are, which is pretty cool. Now you can edit over here. This is tutorial 2, and I can edit over here as long as I'm not in live view. If I hit live view, this is what it looks like on the website, and say I want to delete it, and let's see if it works. Nope, it doesn't let me delete it. It just lets me highlight it. But if I take that live view off and I delete it, there it fixed it. So remember, there's code view, split view, design view, and live view, which lets you see what it actually would look like on a web page. Thank you so much for listening to tutorial number 2. Best of luck